Hey, welcome back to the table. So, I made a big mistake. I recorded for 2.5 hours and I lost the whole video. So I have nothing to upload for you. If you remember the last video we left off, Varix was in the forest and I moved him into an area. He was the only one left with actions, and then of course he got rumple stomped by the enemy. We were able to go in and rescue him, but then I progressed through the forest. Trees were pointing to various places, and I kept trusting the trees and trying to go where the trees were pointing, and then I kept realizing that was the wrong way. And then in between turns, the trees were doing damage to me, and I was being such a stupid fool. I didn't realize that you had to go the one direction that the trees were not pointing. And by then, Varix got wounded, and so did Bryn. So two of my characters got wounded. You can see here, this is the Bandit Hideout that I went to. We were able to adequately search everything that was here. There was a chest here and 2 explore tokens. This one was like trap. And then what happened was this floor ended up disappearing and everybody fell onto a bed of spikes. And then once they were on a bed of spikes, which was like this, then there was snipers up here shooting down at us, and then we had to like climb our way out, and then we eventually got to that gate, and Chance unlocked the gate, and then we were on our way to victory. So it was a 2.5 hour video that you missed. I guess on one hand, the fact that I was able to summarize it within a minute and 53 seconds means that I'm long-winded for 2 hours and 27 minutes, or give or take 30 seconds or so. But yeah, I ended with Varix having only 1 health after already having a minor wound, so Varix almost ended up major wounded. Syrus had 2 health, Chance 4, and Bryn had 8. But Bryn had a light wound. Chance still had his potion, so he was doing great. The other thing that ended up that you missed out on is we did get some goodies along the way. The first one is we got this undying skull. After you defeat an enemy, if it's the first time any hero with this trinket equipped defeats that enemy type, they gain a unique recipe. And I'm assuming the game's going to keep track of this somehow. I don't know. But to move this around between characters would be awesome, because, if one character beats a bandit, we get a recipe. Another player give this to another player, and then they beat a bandit, they get a recipe. It's like Oprah. Everybody gets a recipe. We ended up getting a new skill called Phoenix Cry, or Flames and Fury. One of the things, though, is that they both take... So the skill we already have takes 1 experience point, and so does this one. So even though we have 2 skills for him unlocked, I still could only use 1 at a time because he still only has 1 experience point. We did unlock a new staff for him. So Syrus is like on fire. We got the crystalline staff. We also got a armor. I think you saw this in your video. And then of course this is the old gauntlet and old crossbow and wand. So some of our old items are in here as well. I'm just keeping a pile of all the stuff we have. Alright, so last thing is, like, how did I like the characters? I like all 6. I think they're all very playable, so as usual, FFG did a good job of making them all balanced. Of course, because I like all 6, it makes it harder for me to choose which 4 I want to take on a mission. So I don't like that part. It's a little weird how you have to mix and match them. I mean, normally, like, if you're playing like Imperial Assault, you just pick 4 characters and you live with them until the end. And then you're like, okay, well, next time I want to try a different character. That's not the way this one works. So it's interesting there. I don't have much to say other than, they're all good. Chance was interesting. Did I like Chance more than Kelly? I would say yes, but not by much. Varix is still in my opinion, a must-have character. Like, Varix is just really good. There's no getting around it. But to be honest, Syrus has the best skills of everybody. I think Syrus is just a very solid character. And I really like Bryn because I love the black dice. And I also love Galadin because he defends with a black die. So I actually like the original four the most, if you were to ask me. Kelly and Chance are not as good as the original four. But with that said, all the dilemmas I'm going to have, every single time we have to pick our four, I wish I could just take six. So with that being said, here we are. We're in the town, and let's do the event because obviously this last mission was for Chance. Chance used to be in this band of thieves, so that's the big, shocking reveal. There was a very funny cutscene where Varix was like, no crap, Sherlock. Because, it was so obvious that he was. And he's like, sorry, guys, I know I kept it a secret. It was really well done in the story. I enjoyed that. So this, I'm assuming, is just like when Kelly finished her mission. She made us a bunch of junk. Maybe Chance is going to be doing something for us here. I hope that's the case. Let's see. Beyond that, I think you're caught up. As far as, skills and funny moments go, you're pretty caught up. I haven't looked at any of the shop items or anything yet. We did bring back a lot of loot, of course. Galadin ended up unlocking a personal mission. So when we click on this to go to the next mission, we got the one from Syrus and we got one from Galadin now. So it seems like every character stepping forward with their own personal mission. So let's go ahead and do this. There's a thump, and Chance pokes his head down from the roof, peering in the window. Someone should put a bell on you. Is that a cat joke? No, it's a don't sneak up on me like that joke. Where have you been? I was acquiring some supplies. 7-button vest added to inventory. That's an interesting one. So let's see what that is. Ooh, it's an armor. It is a tunic. Before your defense, focus one card. They really love that focus in this game, and I think focus so far, I have never once wanted to re-roll a die. This is fine, Chance. Should make myself useful. Skykeeper's Pauldrons has been added to the inventory. I wish they would tell me what pile of cards I'm supposed to be grabbing these from. Skykeeper's Pauldrons. Okay, whatever I just looked at was the wrong list. Next list was wrong. So let's assume that that is something that belongs to Bryn. Nope. I don't know what Skykeeper's Pauldrons are. This is crazy. Alright, I went through everybody's weapons. There's nothing there. Oh, here it is. It's another armor. And it's called Skykeepers. And then it's in the small text called Pauldrons. Alright, so let's see. Before another hero's defense, if they're within 2 spaces of you, you may swap spaces and become the target. Alright, it's semi-interesting. This is 2. So then the Sieging Doublet and Stalwart Mail also added. So he's finding all kinds of armor here. Here's the sieging doublet. Actually found them both right next to each other. This is more of what I'm talking about. This one adds... Oh, we're looking at the wrong side. The Stalwart Mail adds 1 health. During enemy activation, you may ignore abilities that move you. And that's a medium armor. And then this one, at the start of each quest, set your health to 4 greater than its maximum. That's awesome. And then it also gives you 1 more health. That's the best one yet. The sieging doublet. That one is very, very good. I stole it from some bad people. That's a trust. Don't worry about it. Independence. Oh, I like this character. Sorry, it was caffeine time. Let's just be honest. I was doing a lot of independence because when he was talking to the bandit boss and basically refusing to join the dark side, we were doing a lot of independence. So let's balance it out. That's what I'm good at. I can't be involved in theft. I'll leave then. No one said you should go. Just how bad were these people? Yep. Way to hold firm on those morals there, Bryn. All right, so very happy. I'd be honest. And I guess next time we'll just have to tell Bryn, don't worry about it. Okay, so if you go here, you can see that we have 282 gold. And they got some decent stuff for sale. Let's see what this is. It's a reinforced haft. And look at this. We got 7 Taros now. Remember when these used to be rare? So that's really awesome. Your weapon's damage increases by 2, but it's a 15% chance. It's a Warbell recipe for Varix. So that's pretty decent. But it's Warbell. We don't really use the Warbell very often. And here, the enemy is dazed after the attack. Move each enemy 1 space away from you. It's okay. Nothing super exciting. If you go to the blacksmith, you're going to start seeing, like for example, Bryn here doesn't have anything to upgrade her hammer yet. But for the, let's see, like you can see this guy's got, we got the crooked staff that does 3 damage, but now we have the crystalline staff, which we just found. And then we have all kinds of options. I think we could spend all day here. This is probably the wrong place to go first. So we got our lunar spear. Oh, I didn't mean to switch it back. And then, yeah, we got our dual power crossbow, double-headed. And see, we were using a clawed gauntlet. Yeah, the disruptor gauntlet. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, this is where we need to be. All right, so for consumables, we have the rabbit foot potion. So, remember, once you make a potion, it's available every single mission. And so, during your turn, you get to shift 2 and prepare 1 card. It's not the most amazing potion in the world, but that one time you need to shift, because remember, when you're engaged, or what's that? I always forget what the word is. Intercepted. Oh. Impeded. That's the word. When you're impeded, shift 2 can be really handy because you can go from one side of a creature to the other side because you can do 2 diagonal moves and then get behind them, right? And that could be important. And preparing a card is also important because if you prepare like a weapon, for example, and you need to do crush damage, but you have your blades out, you can switch your weapon without having to do anything. And also remember that prepare a card, not only are you flipping your weapon to possibly do more damage, for free, mind you, you don't lose an action, it could be loaded with fatigue. So it's a nice way to get rid of a bunch of fatigue on your character. So that's why the rabbit foot potion is actually pretty powerful. So I definitely think we want to do that. We got 3 Anemos. We got plenty of everything else. Maybe not a lot of curios, but we have enough. Caffeine time. 1 second. That really hit the spot. Okay. I definitely think we want to make this. So I'm going to go ahead and do it now. And boom. Now we got rabbit foot potions for everybody for the rest of the game. And this little mechanic where you have potions for the rest of the game, in my mind, that's the best thing ever. I think that that's a wonderful, wonderful way to handle this. Obviously, it stinks when you don't have the potion early enough in the game. But in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4 rabbit foot potions are now ready. And now, I don't know what it takes to upgrade to the other side. Because, like, obviously we have this. And then this is the upgraded rabbit foot potion. Like, I don't know what we have to do for that. But the fact that everybody now has rabbit foot potions is excellent. Alright, and then the other one is an antidote potion. We've seen this one several times. You or an adjacent hero discards 3 conditions. Now this one, is a little more rare. We only have 1 Vigos and Toxos left. So if we do this, I'm using 2 of the rare guys, and I don't have the ability to get more, I don't think. So like if we go back to here, there is a Toxos, but there's no Vigos. So gotta be a little careful, but I still think it might be a very viable option. And then you can see we have a million of these we can do, and this is just, you have to slog through it. So for example, let's look at Chance. So you can see I got a throwing knives upgrade. The current equipment does have a balanced grip. So if the enemy is weak to your attacks, you add +1. That did come in handy. I did use it. And obviously if I do this, I'm using another Anemos, but I have plenty of the other resources. I would be getting a spike grip. So it's 2 of, I have to choose one or the other. I don't get to equip both. So right now I'm looking for stuff that maybe will help me. Right here, enemy drops a small amount of loot, 20% chance. That's pretty cool. And right now I have a exposed type. So currently these 2 items that we can make, I already have 2 items that I'm using. And you could argue maybe these items are better, but like I said, I'm more looking for just something that fills in a blank spot. And here you got Kelly, the Shadow Weave gloves. Again, oh, there we go. Kelly has the Barb bolts, and that uses our last Toxos. And you can see we already have the Screamer bolts. And then over here, there's the Mammoth stock. Your weapon's damage increases by 1. This one's a really nice one, but we don't have an Aquos. And I don't think we have the ability to buy an Aquos. Let's go see. So if I come over here, nope, no Aquos. So then if we go, oh geez, he has a whole bunch of stuff. He has a twisting half, which we can't make. He's got a ringing half, the Warbell recipe. Each other enemy suffers damage equal to your successes. Oh, that's pretty cool. And currently we don't have anything equipped. So that's an example of something that we would do. Here's a Talon grip for the same Warbell. And then we have a spear recipe, which is already covered. This one dooms them. And then over here we have, you can replace a condition with another. We've talked about this one. It's another Warbell one. So there's 3 Warbell halves. Right now we have none of them equipped. So that is a potential candidate. We don't always do Warbell with this guy because I like the reach. But it's still a decent option. Then if we go here, this is a glass offhand. You could shift and prepare a card. And currently there's nothing. This would be, of course, for the sword. That would be a good option for Galadin. And then we have some string, which currently we can daze the enemy. This one would attack the enemy again, but only a 5% chance. And then over here is an arrow, which we have no arrow equipped at the moment. So this is a great candidate, but all it does is doom the enemy. It's not as nice as maybe something else. And what does this use? That uses the Toxos. And then we go back to him. He's got a staff recipe. You gain the Anemos damage type. It's a 100% chance, which is pretty darn cool. I don't have the ability to get Aquos though. And then the Rider's Wrap. Currently there's nothing there. It's a staff recipe. We don't use his staff very often, but it does have a chance of increasing his damage by 1 to 2. That's a really good one. And then this is a wand recipe, which currently we have an ornament where it afflicts them. That causes them to take 4 damage. This one, it ignores or gains the Ignos damage type, and then the enemy is afflicted 25% chance. This is their afflicted 70%. So, yeah, lots of tough choices here. And then we get to, yeah, there's another Aquos. And then here becomes weak to slash. This is a really good one. We currently aren't, that's a Warhammer one. Oh, so it's a Warhammer thing that makes them weak to slash, but the Warhammer doesn't do slash. That's a really weird upgrade. Okay, so what do? We got a whole bunch of choices. I think we said we liked one of these Warbell ones. I like this one. Each other enemy suffers damage equal to your successes. So I'm going to go ahead and craft that and equip it. And then I'm going to go ahead and make this Antidote Potion, because after reviewing everything, I still think the potion is the best option, because having potions is fantastic. I mean, everybody's going to be able to equip 3 potions now. How can you argue with that? So we got 3 Antidote Potions, and there's the 4th one. Alright, so 3 potions for everybody. Do I want to... I think the biggest thing I maybe want to focus on is let's buy the stuff that is already here. Because look at this. This is a Warbell haft that actually would have been possibly better than what we just made. That one's okay. It's not super exciting. It's a recipe. I think I want to hold on to my money. And if you look at what we have, we got like 100 leather. We got a lot of money right now. So I think what I'm going to do is, so let's say I'm going to sell 20 of this leather. I'm going to get $80. And then I'm going to sell 20 of this cloth. I'm going to get 80 more bucks. So now I'm at $400. 442. I think what I want to do is I want to buy a Toxos. Like, let's buy this stuff that's rare while I have it. And I'm going to buy 2 of them for 60. And then this Umbros, we're going to buy at least 1. And then we have an Ignos. I'm going to buy at least 1 of those. And I think I have a lot of Taros right now. I have 7 of them. So that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to try to stock up on the rarer stuff. And then right now I think we're doing okay. I'm going to just wait. Everybody seems to have at least something equipped. And there's no need to continue. Now this is the part where it gets a little tough. So the Warden's Blade. Crystalline Staff. Here's your Magister's Wrap, Claw Ornament, Star Touch Wand. I do need to make an arrow. Oh, that's right. The arrow only, what it did was it applied Doom, I think. I wasn't super excited about that. Let's look at the Warbell. We got the Ringing Haft. serpent's tail. And you can see the little dots that there's only 2 possible items. So everybody's equipped with the best that they got. So that's it for now. I could, like I said, go make that arrow. Which is this one. The enemy would be doomed. 50% chance. That's all it would do. I don't know. I mean, yeah, let's do it. And we'll equip that as well. Okay. Because, like I said, I wanted to have a world where everybody knows your name. It's like cheers. Okay, so that's it with that. And next thing would be is like, what mission are we going to do? And there's 2 available here and here, but we got this random event. Countess Dukard, a minor noble of Forthen, is asking for help solving a theft in her household. Someone had better go appease her. So let's go do the event. Those are always fun. Usually don't take a lot of time. You're passing by a crowd when an angry gnome threatens a dwarf. I know you took it. I saw you. Search me, please, the dwarf responds, giving you a wink. You continue on, but an hour later find that what you assume is a stolen item in your pocket. The following has been added to your inventory to be used later. 20 herbs from some fireweed. Chance sits outside of a rambling country manor, ears flicking and tail whipping. Takes a deep breath as he listens to the sound of the birds chirping. Companions approach, accompanied by an unwelcome sight of a noble woman. But they aren't likely to tell us much. You are a trained marshal, are you not? Surely a simple burglar is not beyond your abilities to capture. Uthuk had other plans. Chance has some expertise, and of course Lady Bryn is more than equal. Poor report of your conduct. It's not our fault your stuff got stolen, lady. Baroness is my aunt, you stuck up. I already solved it. He has a sick mother and food is expensive lately, and he stole a brooch but was careless when he fenced it. A loophole we can use. It's never on the table. Alright. Do it Bryn's way. Leave this to me. I think we should leave it to chance. The less we know about this, the better. I have dreadful news. What was left of him? Fable of peril, wicked treachery, and greed. I was so close to death and never knew. I must send my thanks to the Baroness straight away. That does crack me up. Alright. Yep, and then we gotta travel back. And this is just like flavor text. And we're back. Now, here's the interesting part. New items. It's like, let's look at this. This is a fortified haft for the Warhammer. You may focus a card, which so far has been a worthless ability. The Diamond Blade. You may discard any number of conditions from this card. Now that is sort of interesting. Sort of. We have some Ignos. There we go. We're short on Vignos, so I'm going to buy 2 of those. And an Umbros, and then a Lumos. We're going to buy one of those. I do have enough money to just buy everything. I probably should. I bought 2 of those. Let's buy 2 of those. I'm going to save 200 because if there's ever something good here, I want to snack it. These 2, not so interesting. Alright, and then if we go to do a mission, now we got our choices. We can either do the Elemental Cycle, which is a Syrus mission, or the Galadin mission. We've been asked to hunt an Uthuk creature, which I think they're both decent. Syrus for me is a no-brainer to take with you on a party, so I do like doing those types of missions with where I can bring them. Yeah, I shouldn't really debate too much over this. So we're going to go ahead and do a Syrus mission. Obviously, Syrus has to be in the party. Varix for sure. And then who's the other 2? The problem with Galadin and Bryn are they have the weakest weapons. Like, they're still using their original weapons. They don't have a lot of upgrades to them. But they both have beautiful black dice for defending. I'm going to go against my better judgment and take Kelly and Chance and leave them out. So there we go. So for the armor, oh, okay. So Undying Skull for him. I see. Those are the only ones that use the So for the armor, we gotta do that ourselves. So let's sort this out. Syrus uses light armor. Chance uses light or medium. Bryn uses heavy, which is another reason not to take Bryn, because we don't have any heavy armor yet. Kelly uses medium or heavy. And Varix uses light or medium. So, and then Galadin, I'm assuming, would use medium. Okay, so this doublet, of course, is the best in the world. Medium armor. Set your health to 4 greater than its maximum. There's a big temptation, I think, to give that to Varix. And I will. I'm going to give that to Varix. So Varix will start with 12 health, actually 13. This stalwart male, during an enemy activation, you may ignore abilities that move you. It's a medium armor, so I will give that to Kelly. So that puts her to 10 health. And then we got these other crappier things. The trinket I gave to Syrus. Before another hero's defense, if they're within 2 spaces of you, may swap spaces become the target. That's a heavy armor. Oh, we do have a heavy armor. That would go to Bryn, of course. And this one, before your defense, focus a card. It's a light armor, so that would go to Chance, or I'll put it on Syrus. And then I'm not going to choose this, although this does use up more fatigue. Like, I can store more fatigue on these cards with this guy. And it's another way of using a lightning bolt. Normally it's just you add 1 and can move a fatigue. Now, during your attack or defense, you add 1 for each of your Phoenix cards. Then flip this one. And then after you flip it, during your turn, an enemy in your line of sight suffers 1 for each of your Phoenix cards that then inflict the enemy. It's pretty cool. It's not the worst thing in the world. This one is a worthless side, but we use this side for the heal all the time. You know what? I actually, I think I like this one. I'm going to put this one on. That's a Phoenix. And then if you look at this Empower isn't a Phoenix, but if you go to this side, that's a Phoenix side. So I can get like a lot of advantages by having the Phoenix Bond side. I would like this. This is a very good skill for him, but I'm just going to put it in the pile here. And then the crystalline staff, we equipped that instead of the crooked staff. So we're going to go ahead and put this one in. Yeah, we're going to equip the wand. This is the older gauntlet, the older crossbow, and then the older wand. So that sums up everything we got. You can see we have the dual power crossbow equipped. Yeah. And apparently the game doesn't keep track of the armor. So I'm going to put Varix up to 12 health, which is an amazing amount of health compared to what we just had. 7 for Syrus. Chance is going to go to 8. And then Kelly is at 10. Alright, so doing standard difficulty still. Embark. Piercing cry cuts through the blue skies and a firebolt falls from the clouds. Indris. That's the bird. Birdie. Did you get chased out of the sky by a big bad bird? The guy just rambles. Now they're staring at each other. I didn't understand the point to any of that. So we ended up a masked figure. We ended up getting 2 Curios and 3 Mortos. We never even had a Mortos before, but we got 3 of them now. That's pretty good. It was right before we got there. Syrus led the companions to a sprawling country house not far from the Shadow Peaks. Garden is full of strange and exotic plants. All the great geniuses. What's so special? That's why they kicked him out. Who's there? I warn you, I am Oh. How did you do it? He wants the power of a dragon. That's why we're here to help you, because you have no power. So now the mission is starting. I suppose you best come in. The Indris feathers ruffle as the professor's eyes fix intensely on the Phoenix. So why do I think this professor is a big jerk? Yeah, we're going to have to teach him a new lesson. So I'm going to disassemble. Stephanie! No, disassemble. That should be a very easily recognized movie. Anybody who's been watching any movies that involve disassemble, and the name Stephanie, of course. We should have We should have had a character named Aaron. Because then this could have been Aints and Syrus. And K. Ely. Good old Aaron. S. Syrus. And C. Hance. Sorry, I'm busy assembling, and actually I'm disassembling. Stephanie is still working on that. Alright, disassemble is complete. We have some miniatures here. This one is staying in the game. This one is also staying. That one is staying. This one is not. Goes back to the cone of shame. And, yep, we got everybody. Alright, so we need 2A, 8A, and 13A. All Canadian tiles. So, there's 2. Nobody's using the American side. It's all the Canadian side. There's 8A. And 13A. Oh, nope, that's 12. There's 13A. Okay, so let's get some tokens out of the way. This looks like it's in the middle, so we gotta switch it to the Canadian side. There we go. Then for 8, also on the Canadian side. And then 13, also on the Canadian side. There she be. Looks like a giant papyrus board. Okay, Professor Graysden, I've been meaning to tell you about what happened with Indris here. Syrus, my boy, why quibble over something that has happened so long ago? It seems you saved the poor dear's life and have forged a unique and powerful bond despite your, rash behavior. You ought to have died, you know. That ritual was never meant for your eyes. It was a necessary feat. I had to save my friend. I had to save my friend. You don't think you were too reckless? Indris could have been really hurt, and as you pointed out, so could I. Don't you have anything to say? You're not here to reminisce, Syrus. Let's talk actual business. Syrus may focus each of his cards and prepare one. So, sure, I'll focus each of his cards. So, we focused all 3 of those cards. And then we're going to prepare one. So I think I would prepare... Sure, I'll prepare that one. And then all kinds of goodies just popped in. So we have... Something's not right. Something's not right. Why did I do wrong? So if I put this together like so, according to the map, there should be another spot up here. But there isn't. Unless it's the other way around. There we go. There we go. 1 and 2. buckle my shoe, and then a table here, and then 2 doors. One there, and one there. Professor draws you around the colored table, and so we're all going to be standing next to this table. He's got the least movement points. We're going to put him there. This needs to be near the bookshelves. I'll put him there. Most movements, we'll put him there, and least movement there. I was surprised to see you, Syrus. I so rarely receive guests since I left the university. Syrus nods. It's been a while since you were dismissed, or since the failed experiment with Indra's Hawks. Syrus is quiet for a moment before venturing. I mean, since your last element in a magic lecture. There's a strained silence, interrupted by the sounds of the professor's front door opening. As you look, Grayson mumbles something. What was that, Professor? Syrus says, straining to see the new visitors. I said you should never have come here, Syrus. Oh. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, this isn't good. So we got a rune-bound animus. That's probably somehow different than a regular animus. Alright, so we got immediate battles going here. So Runebound Animus right there. Dread Zealot, which I'm assuming is just a zealot but has a different ability. Looks like that goes here. And then a Harbinger, which I don't know what a Harbinger is, so I'm looking at my miniatures. Oh yeah, that looks like that would be a Harbinger. Got a new miniature type. So that's what it looks like. These little spikes make it hard to pull them out of the tray. It actually hurts your fingers. So, there we go. All 3 of them are at the door. Syrus turns back to the Professor Grayson, only to find that he's gone. He ran. I guess if we want answers, we're going to have to work for them. Update. Find Professor Grayson. Alright, so there we are. We're ready to rumble. So let's refresh ourselves on the feat, especially since you missed the last video. The feats for Syrus is he has to interact with a lectern while enemies are on the map. There are none. We just have to not be wounded for Varix. And then for Kelly, defeat an enemy has 2 or more statuses. And then for Chance, attack a bandit, which was a very big thing whenever we were in the Bandit Hideout, but we ended up not being able to finish that. For this Undying Skull, it helps if Syrus can finish off an enemy. We know that the Animus is good against... Crush works well against the Animus. And so I'm just giving out potions right now to everybody. To make sure everybody has their potions. And Kelly can... I really should have done this before I knew what the enemies were, but Kelly is going to start hammer side up. And then Chance, I was going to use the knife side instead of the claw side. So yeah, we'll stick with that. I was definitely going to use the wand and definitely going to use the spear. I mean, those were never a question. It's the Kelly thing, whether I use the crossbow or the hammer. The hammer, of course, being important for the Animus. Okay, the Harbinger or whatever that thing is, we've never fought one of those ever. We probably want to focus on the enemies first before we go and start looting the bookshelves and stuff. And the table itself might be searchable. Alright, so how do we want to do this? Well, we know that Kelly can hit the Animus, so we're going to have her start. And she will move 2 spaces, and here she's going to be engaged. And we're going to have her attack that thing. Boom. It's got 36 health. She's going to use her hammer like she's never used it before. And then she's going to roll black die. We rolled 2 successes. That was it. It says during your attack or defense, ignore 1 die face and add 3. She could take 2 fatigue to do that. No, I'm going to just stick with 2. And then we did find a weakness, so it still did 8 damage. And I get to discard all the fatigue from my attack card, so that would have actually worked out if I would have used it. And then Kelly will attack again. And we're going to roll again. This time I got 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's 11 damage, which is a good amount of damage. And that's it. So I can go to Syrus now, and as you may recall, I have this weapon prepared. I'm actually going to use it because the even though it does pierce damage, the other side is crush. So I'm going to flip it over to this, and it does have reach, so it's just as good as the spear for Varix. And just right where Syrus is standing, Syrus can attack. And let's try to finish this thing off. And we're going to gain a recipe for this, according to the skull. So Syrus is rolling a die and got 2 successes. And I think that's all you can do. Oh no, I need a lightning bolt. I don't have any lightning bolts, so we're just going to do 2. Look at that, 8 damage. I need to do a little bit better this time, though, if I want to finish them off. And I did. I rolled this. So we have 1 success from the star. We're going to... with the lightning bolt, I have a couple choices. During your attack, add 1 success for each of your Phoenix cards. Then flip this card. Well, the card itself is Phoenix. So Flames and Fury is Phoenix, so there's 1. And then I have a Phoenix Bond card, that's 2. So that lets me add 2 successes. And then I'm flipping the card, which makes me lose the focus. See, the focus is so useless. And yeah, that becomes a Phoenix Cry. But that's fine. We just did 3 damage, and then I have I can take a fatigue. I'm going to put it on my staff, and that lets me add 1 more. That was the advantage. And there we go. 15 damage, and boom. And right there, the Direvine Arrow recipe. Because that's from, I'm getting all these recipes from this Undying Skull. So that's really cool. And oh no, here we go. Undying Skull studies the dissembled body. And we ended up getting a Forgic Haft recipe, too. So got another recipe. Alright, fair enough. His turn's over, and I'm actually going to use his movement to move him away from them, and we're going to go next to the bookshelf. The Varix, this thing is gone. Varix will go next, and we'll move here and use his spear to attack this thing, the Harbinger. So that's going to be done with the Lunar Spear, and he uses a blue die. So he has 1 success and a Lightning Bolt. which lets him add 2 more. 9 damage. Definitely not a weakness. After this attack, if there's another enemy adjacent to you, scar 1 card. There is not. So we're going to try again. Blue die. 1, and then the lightning bolt will be 2, 3 again. And we got him down to 8 health. And again, that happens, but nothing really happens. Alright, so Varix's turn is over. And I don't know, I guess I used 1 movement point. I have 2 left. I think what I'm going to do is move 1, 2. I'm at least still next to the table. And then Chance. If I go here, I run out of movement points. So I'm going to have to just move in 1 with Chance. And let's see if we can finish this guy off. Oh, Chance has the knives, so Chance doesn't have to move in. So Chance will shoot with the thorn tip knives, which are a pierce type. So we're going to find out how this thing goes up against pierce. And Chance rolled a lightning bolt, which does 2 damage, or 2 hits. And then I'm going to use the, for the 1 fatigue, I'm going to afflict the enemy, because I'm not going to be able to kill him. Although I do got another attack. I'm going to wait. I'll do that next attack. And look at that. That actually killed him, because this was his weakness. So we found his weakness. Excellent. And the Harbinger is gone. And all that's left is the dreaded Zealot. So this one is the one I'm going to afflict. So I will put a fatigue on a card. And I also forgot that I have that says before your attack you must flip a shadow card and add 1 success. It says must. I keep forgetting to do it, so my apologies there. I think a must means you must do it, but we're just going to treat it like it's a may. A random enemy adds 2 to its next activation, which is fine. So we're going to roll a blue die here. And I rolled a success and a lightning bolt. So the lightning bolt, of course, will add 2 more. And then I'm going to afflict. And then I have to flip a shadow card. So I got this disguise card. That's going to flip over. And that lets me add 1 more. And then, yes, I'm going to also afflict him. And then confirm. And there you go. 7 damage. He blocked 1. So none of those were his weakness. His weakness is slash. And that's all I get to do. I can move Chance, for example. And I think I will. I'm going to move 1, 2 to at least be closer to the door. We're going to make the Zealot walk a little bit, or attack Kelly, basically. And go ahead and hit end phase. So every hero gets to discard a fatigue. There's not a lot of fatigue out, actually, at the moment, which is pretty cool. He suffers 4 damage. And then he's going to target Chance. So he will be able to hit Chance, but he's going to have to move a little bit closer. And he's going to recover 2 health and remove his status of afflicted. That's fine. He's going to do 4 damage to Chance. So Chance is here. 1, 2, 3. He just has to move 1 space. That's enough. This would have caused him to become impeded. That's the word. I finally remembered it. But that's all we needed to be able to hit Chance. Chance defends with a blue die. So we got a success and an advantage. So we're going to go ahead and use the advantage. And then it also says before your defense you can flip a shadow card. This is a shadow card itself, so I'm going to flip the card. I no longer have any shadow cards face up. But that did let me block another one. So I blocked 3 out of 4, so basically Chance took 1 damage. 1 for the success, 1 for the advantage, and then 1 because he flipped the shadow card. Alright, oh, look at this. Careful. 2 fatigue. During your defense, add 1. I'm going to do that, and he's going to take no damage. It does cost 2 fatigue, but I'm going to flip that card anyways. And then after I get the shift 1, I don't really need to move, so I'm going to just stay right where I am. Oh, the Dread... Oh, look at this. The Dread Zealot shifts 3 towards Varix. So, shift ignores the ineptness. Impede, that's the word. 1, 2, and I think that's all the further he would go. It's interesting that he's running towards Varix like that. And now it's the hero phase. And we're going to save. And I'm going to quit here. We're at an hour. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome. I'm going to save it right here. And since it's the hero's start turn, we will pick this up. Ciao.